I want to help people take that narrow view of possibility and make it bigger. But if you what if yourself to death, you just stay right here. I'd say my secret sauce is getting people to do stuff they never thought they could do. And that's happening. If it's a status thing, you're focused on the wrong status. You're focused on what the people you're leaving behind are thinking versus where I'm going. If you do something that creates real value that took a ton of risk, your status goes through the roof. And if you don't make it, so what?
Welcome to the Lion's Edge, where top performers sharpen their teeth. Hosted by Joe Blackburn, founder of The Lion, who is relentlessly dedicated to helping business owners lead multi-million-dollar teams. And me, Jason Croft. I transform unseen entrepreneurs into industry leaders by developing their market gravity. Each week, we reveal proven strategies and raw insights to help you maximize your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. Now, let's create your edge.
This one always bugs me, by the way, just because the way we even talked about it in Mindset, I think 2 weeks ago or a week ago or whatever. I think if people made like a small shift, it's small. If they went from all the what ifs, so like, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if the worst case scenario happens? What multi what if for those of you in the planning world, to even if. I mean, the worst case doesn't happen very often. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm not saying be an idiot, but like, does the worst case scenario often happen? How much time do you spend running from it? It's just, when I talk to people, it's normal. They immediately go to, well, what if this happens? What if my, spouse isn't all in? What if I can't go to my kid's soccer game? What if, it's all the what ifs. What if my team doesn't want to do this? It's all what ifs. Well, if you just change it to even if they didn't want to, like there's like I don't know if you saw my face because I'm kind of a badass, but that's kind of a violence in my belief, right? Like, even if, like, what do I care? If I'm going to do something.
Where's this coming up? Give me context of like when this is coming up, because I know in general worry happens with folks, and it's kind of a weird thing to me, and I hear about it and maybe hear it from other people, but I guess I don't know. I don't know if I'm not wired that way. I don't know if I don't sit around in that space. Maybe I sit around too much in possibility and taking action. I think my creative juices go that way, and a lot of people's creative juices go into like, well, what if this horrible thing happens? So, like you're mentioning, give me context where you're encountering that though when it comes up.
Well, in a real positive way, even in the last month, we've had people that made big leaps in new businesses, new locations, new hires, all the things you would sit around and question as a leader, and go ahead and do it. And my question in my head is, why? I mean, if it's what you want, why even spend the time? Like, why worry about the rest of it? Just do it. Like, that's what you want. So let's say you, and we had shout out to Rich. So he left his company and went to another company, and there's some legal stuff involved. And it was like, well, they're probably going to do something litigious. And he did it. Even if they do, I'm going. Even if I have to sit on the sideline for a month, I'm still going. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do with my life. Even if, and not very many people do that. That takes huge balls. So sorry, I don't know if this is going to be posted or something, but I mean, it takes a lot of guts to do things, even if there's a possibility something could work against you. And I see it. You see a difference in. There's a lot of people that have the even if. I mean, hell, Sam, the most vicious lion of them all, had his freaking store burned down next to him. They couldn't even work out of their store.
Wow.
And it was like, even if we can't use the location, we're going to pay the bills, pay the people, pay ourselves. I mean, so you see that, but that's, in my mind, often an anomaly. Most people what if themselves to where I'm going to stick where I'm at. I'm good here because that what if holds me back. And I don't know, we probably talk about this too much. it seems weird to me. Like
Where is it coming up though in terms of like
well,
taking any step forward or any change at all? Is that where you're seeing it?
well, it's about anything that would cause pain. So it's a pretty broad spectrum. I I think
So
where
being in business at all.
yeah, I mean, if you want to live, it's an even if or what if. I don't know. I see it in I guess I see it in different places. Probably the most common is when I do fit calls or when we see if what we do something you like. I can hear that multi what if. Well, what if I don't do the work? What if, I put money into myself and it doesn't work out? Or what? I can feel like it's like a checklist of, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Instead of, even if all that stuff happens, I'm going to hit my goal faster with less pain. And if you own a business and you look at the world like measuring worst case scenario all the time, I just think it's like creates a lot of friction. And the reality is it rarely happens. And we've had some people that have come this close recently, this close to it all being over. And they just wouldn't give up. And so I don't know. Have you ever seen the worst case scenario in someone's business really come to fruition? I've seen them quit and go insolvent or into bankruptcy. I have seen that but that is different. They just are like, I'm just going to watch this thing fall off a cliff. That's different. But if they're doing, you know, the 101s consistently done in their business will take them through a valley. It's just, can they handle it? And I think what happens is people get up there and look and they're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Too much. Too much risk, too much. And I also think it's risk of being embarrassed more than anything.
Oh yeah, I think that's m- more than anything at all because even when if you do press, and like okay, even if that happens, like you're saying, it's not that bad, and you can walk somebody through that, but it is more of an identity thing, and it's. I mean, we're all at some level of trying to figure out status, right? In our world, in the larger world, and that risks that when they come into something that could take them forward, but it's almost certainly going to be harder. They're in shaky ground for a little bit.
That status pressure comes from below. No one who's done something big, takes a crap on someone who risked something. Because they didn't get like they didn't get to where they're at without doing it. So they know so if it's a status thing, you're focused on the wrong status. You're focused on what the people you're leaving behind are thinking versus where I'm going. If you do something that's out of the ordinary, that would be called extraordinary, or you do something that creates real value that took a ton of risk, your status goes through the roof. And if you don't make it, let's say you bomb, so what? I I tell I, I say this because I'm big on positivity. I say this all the time. No one likes you and no one cares. That's how, I mean, does that feel good? They don't.
It should, because it's a relief. Like, if you really let that in,
I
like,
I
"Oh,
know. No
yeah,
one sitting around. I mean, yeah, they'll take their shot at you because it makes them feel better, but not sitting around thinking that stuff. They're worried about their own world and what's going on in it. They don't. It's just not how it works. It's on the internet all the time, and I hear it in different ways. As you go up, you give up and you get lonely or whatever it is. I mean, as you ascend, there's less people. I just, it's a mathematics. It's not because it's only at the top. It's because there's not very many of them.
especially when you're talking about having that call with someone. This could be for anybody, trying to enroll anybody into what you're doing, selling them a service, bringing them into the lion, whatever that is. I I mean, that's kind of why you have those fit calls, as you talked about. Is there a point where you shift from answering those what ifs to, okay, this is where your head is, and this is where your energy is, you know what? You're right. It's not going to work.
Yeah, I'm pretty quick on that. Now, if someone has to, I call them digesters. You ever met a digester? Sometimes they're out there. I don't know if you've met them, but I'll let them digest it. It's just, it's not even that it's right or wrong. I don't think it's real. I think it's a false sense of reality.
By just going into that what if.
Yeah, I think you've
Stuff,
now
yeah.
created a multiverse. I'm gonna start using big words more. Multiverse of these what ifs, and then you're it's not paralyzed, not the right word. You're still functioning where you are and probably doing okay. It just, I don't know, maybe I just see it in a different light because it's what we do all day. In my mind, I'm like, that's not even it's not real. It's not a concern. It's, if you decide to do something and you do all the things we're talking about, you'll do it. Like that's, yeah. Has this been helpful? Or is it just me rambling?
Well, I think there's there's a rant component, of course, but I think it's an
Yes.
important rant uh, to have this in here. And again, it's a weird thing to me. It's the same weirdness to me, though, that is uh, the person who puts that blame outward, right? Instead of taking ownership, the whatever's going on and in control. I think it's in that same camp. They're definitely cousins, right? If not brother and sister. You know? Like
First
it's
cousins. Yeah.
yeah. And I think it's that same mentality. It's an oddity to me for whatever reason, right? Whether I learned that early on, I happen to be raised with that, whatever that is. Both of these things are just an oddity to me of sitting in that. Oh, I don't want to do that because this could happen, and that could happen. And I got plenty of
Yeah.
my own stuff that holds me back, and I don't do stuff
Well,
for
I mean,
sure.
everyone does. It's normal.
How do we combat that from individual? Hey, I want to shift from this, and how do we combat it in people we surround ourselves with? I guess that's the useful part here.
I mean, the line helps because you've got other people doing it right in front of you or have just recently done it. So it gives you more certainty. Have you heard of AI? Have you heard of this new thing? It's called AI.
Maybe,
Heard?
maybe a
Yes,
little
you've heard
something.
of it.
Yeah.
I I I think people that don't find a way to separate themselves out somehow from what AI is capable of are going to get blindsided. I heard we'd be in singularity in 20 years, meaning brain and AI. It's probably 10. So in my mind, I'm like, if you just keep, so if I, because I used to do planning or whatever, like longevity, am I going to outlive my money type thing? But if you keep doing what you're doing and you don't start doing some things that are out of the ordinary or changing, I I think I don't know, maybe I'm being fear mongered. It's probably STK. She keeps posting about AI and it's scaring me. Um, but yeah, I just think it's like a freight train. In my mind, it's like, why would you gotta do something? Where are you gonna, if you're an old gentleman like myself, I'm gonna turn 50. I mean, if you're even at 50, you're not old anymore. Just tell yourself that, Jason. I'm not old because I'm in my 50s, but you're not old anymore. So if that's true, and I keep doing what I'm doing, and the entire universe is changing, there's there's an intersection and I don't know. This is probably going nowhere. I
Well, it's both sides though, right? There's the because where you're going with that and talking about AI, you've got to differentiate yourself. You got to bring in that human element and that charisma and that connection, that human connection. At the same time, where I see way too much of it going on in that mentality that you were just talking about, that what if is, well, what if, AI destroys us, or what
yeah.
if it does it?
Well, here I'm doing it myself. I'm a hypocrite. Thank you. Well,
That's really what I wanted to point out. That's exactly what, but
but it was well done.
No, but it's that happens. So I think it's important to be on that middle part of it because both sides are ridiculous, right? Like to not put yourself out there and find those ways to differentiate yourself. And it's also insane not to use it. It's phenomenal, right? Like it's both of those things.
I don't dislike it. So going, I mean, back to the core of the issue, I think it's more about being real to yourself in if you want something, do it as fast as humanly possible so that if those bad things you think about are going to happen, it doesn't matter. And I told this story 600 times, so everyone's sick of hearing it and no one cares. Like I said, no one likes you, no one cares. When I took a leap out of what was normal to me, like the corporate life, and I felt like I busted my ass to get to where I got. It's not that it was great or anything, but the sacrifices, the climbing the ladder, all those different things, and then leapt out of that. I think that has had an impact on me where it just seems like you when you're in that and you think that's all there is, I just see it as there's everything else, and people they just want to it's like stay in your lane or something, and I don't know, can you tell this bothers me? And should it? Should it even bother me? I don't know, man. I just I wanna help people. I wanna help people take that narrow view of possibility and make it bigger. But if you what if yourself to death, you just stay right here. And that could be in any area of your, I mean, I don't know. It could be in any area of your life. That could be any of it. It just, I don't know.
Well, and I think that's a good point too. Sometimes it is that leap of faith, and you've got to just go. But it doesn't have to be a massive thing like you leaving Merrill and launching your thing. It doesn't necessarily even have to be that massive. It can be a small action in that direction. You want to build evidence.
It
And I
could
think,
it could be a series of steps.
yeah. And again, like whether it's the Lion or a group at your local chamber that you get together with the right mindset, whatever that is, to also surround yourself with what's possible and just the who show you what's possible. That's a big deal. And we all need that in various degrees. I don't sit around going, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? But I also need help still expanding, seeing oh, that's right. That's bigger is possible. Getting further down the road is possible. And those are important things. And I think, again, I think this goes into that bucket of, yeah, there's a little bit of a rant, but this is also really important to like shake some folks too. I mean, we often talk about things that are coming up and you're seeing in the Lion. And it sounds like this is more people you've talked to, talking to them about potentially being in the Lion. Do you see this much in these folks who are in here? Is it pop up in these little ways? I would imagine it's not
Well, the speed to
prevalent.
even if is much shorter.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, and that isn't, I mean, I'm great. We say this all the time. Let's just level set greatness.
Exactly. It's just understood. Right.
But if I'm by myself in the what if, I mean, I'm just, I've got the circus going on. So if I have someone speak directly to me about what is possible, even if, and then I see a bunch of people do it, and then I hot seat it and talk about it, that gives me, what they're really saying is, I want more certainty to do this. I want more, solid ground to make it. And that helps because you had a good point. You don't have to go across the canyon, but you do have to take the steps. So I would say we see it faster and we see it more frequently now because more people are doing it. So, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So we are, I'd say my secret sauce is getting people to do stuff they never thought they could do. And that's happening faster, which is part of it's part of what you put together, it's like speed is an element. Money's attracted to speed. Speed wins. Speed's attract. All those things. So and what they find out, by the way, it wasn't that bad. You know what? It didn't ruin me.
Yeah. Even on those rare occasions that this crazy creative what if actually happen, oh, cool. That's done. And I think that goes to that speed element and getting better element that you're talking about too, is that almost talking to somebody, having them let that in. Cool. Let's just assume that's going to happen. The worst thing that let's just assume that's going to happen. So what do we do to get you ready for that? Right? What do you have to do to protect yourself from that and still move forward?
Probably the same damn steps they were going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. So when you build that up, maybe that's the antidote to somebody who's just stuck in that little bit of like, cool, okay, that's going to happen. Now, if that's going to happen, let's get you moving so fast that you just blast your way through that.
Okay.
Feel better?
Somewhat.
That's what's important here.
As long as I feel better and you're still here, I think we're in good shape.
Here you go. All right, Lions. There's your edge. You've just experienced the Lion's Edge. If this episode lit a fire, if you're ready to push past your current ceiling, there's more waiting for you. Want to see what it takes to become a member of the Lion? Visit jointhelion.com to discover how successful entrepreneurs become unstoppable forces. And make sure you never miss an episode by hitting subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This isn't just content. This is your edge.
This show is powered by Media Leads. Tired of being overlooked in your industry? Learn how market gravity can transform you into the leader everyone's talking about by going to MediaLeadsCo.com.